Hello guys, so Jerry speaking. Welcome to Bedtime Stories, episode number 762. Today we read a local book biography about Rosa Parks. So let's read it down, shall we? So we got for us. Written by Sasha Clinch. Illustrated by Lynn Gaines. Here we go. Published by a Gold Book New York release, copyright 2025. Already reserved. See here is Rosa Parks trying to get her speech. Here we go. She was born Rosa Louise McCauley in Tuscaloosa, Alabama on February 4th, 1913. Okay? Her mother was a teacher, father was a carpenter, okay? Rosa was 2 years old, parents separated. Kinda makes a difference anyway. She moved to her mother and her little brother, Silverio, or something like that. Anyway, mix it up a little bit. To live with her grandparents' farm in Pine Level, Alabama. Kinda makes sense anyway, so there you go. Next page. Anyways, cue with the button, anyway. Lion's life on the farm was filled with love, but it was hard as well. Every day she had chores to do. When the chickens laid eggs, she would go to the store with her grandfather to trade them for goods that they needed. Her mother taught how to read and write. She learned how to cook and sew for her grandmother. Okay. Rose's grandparents were born enslaved. Good enough. They had been owned by another person and forced to work in terrible conditions without pay. Good enough. They were free at the end of the Civil War. Her mother and grandparents were proud to be black. Racism, anyway. They thought Rosa would respect herself and to demand respect from others. Makes sense anyway, so there you go on that anyway. Next page. Anyways, racial segregation, something like that. It's when people are separated, something like that. Based on the color of their skin. Why? Anyways, when Rosa was a child, segregation was a law in Alabama, and much of the South of the United States, black people had to go to separate schools. Eating in separate restaurants and use separate bathrooms from white people. Don't know why, but everything is supposed to be separate but equal. But this wasn't true. Strange enough. Schools of white children were clean. No. They have new school books and desks for every child. The students were taught through high school. Rose's school was in one room, staggered with no windows. Black students of different ages learn side by side from old school books what the white schools threw away. Oh wow, they don't know what to do next. Most schools stopped teaching black children after 6th grade. Why? Anyways, every day as Rosa walked to school, she saw a school bus full of white children pass her by. This was one of the first ways Rosa learned about segregation. I don't know what happened here, but this is difficult, I know. Next page. Anyways, Rosa was often sick as a child. She spent a lot of time at home reading about important black people in history. She learned about Booker T. Washington, Booker T. Bookworm, that is, ladies and gentlemen, and an educator who opened a school for formerly enslaved people. George Washington Carver, and that science and innovator. Wow, okay. Difficult enough. Since Rosa's public school ended after 6th grade, her mother sent her to Montgomery, Alabama, so she could continue her education at a private school. Didn't know what to do next. Rosa lived with her aunt and helped pay her the donation by cleaning and sweeping classrooms. So dream of being a nurse or a social worker. Can't make sense anyway, so there you go with that. Differences I know. Next page. Anyways, But when Rosa was in 11th grade, both her grandmother and mother fell ill. She had to leave school to take care of them. Oh my god. Anyways, Rosa met Raymond Parks when she was 19. Raymond was a barber. He was also an activist. Sometimes he fights for change. He was a member of the National Education Association for the Advancement of Colored People, NAACP for short. Anyway, it helped the group fight for equal rights for black people. Rosa admired Raymond for how he stood up for himself and others. On December 18th, 1942, they got married and settled in Montgomery, Alabama. We'll see what happens. Next page. Anyways, Raymond encouraged Rosa to go back to school in 1944. She received her high school diploma. She was one of the few black people in Alabama at the time to finish high school. Rosa tried to find a job to use her education, but many people still want to hire her because of the color of her skin. At all costs. She would take jobs that didn't require a high school diploma, like a cleaner or a symmetrist. The jobs kept her busy, but Rosa couldn't ignore the unfair treatment of black people in her community. She wanted to be some to help. 1943, it's 1943 anyway. Rosa joined the NAACP as well. Kind of makes sense anyway. So there you go. It happens anyway. Next page. Anyways, more on there. Rosa worked with teenagers in the NAACP youth programs. She also traveled around Alabama to listen to the stories of black people and the problems they face. One of Rosa's biggest projects with the NAACP was helping black people in Alabama register to vote. Good enough. Both black people were allowed to vote. Laws in the South made it difficult for them to do so. Some certificates required them to own property. Others made them take a test. Rosa informed black people of the rights and arranged for large groups of black people to register. So what happens? Can't make sense anyway. Next page. Anyways, on Thursday, December 1st, 1955, Rosa boarded a bus after a long day at work. She sat in a section reversed for black people. When the bus got crowded, the driver ordered a black passenger to move the back of the bus so a white rider could sit down. But Rosa refused to move. Why? Well, yeah, I agree that big time. But the bus driver got angry. Still, Rosa stayed in her seat. She remembered what her mother and grandparents had taught her about self-respect. She thought about all the hard work she had done with the NAACP. Rosa tired of giving the unfair laws that reserved black people from having the same rights as white people. This is a stupid thing that somebody had done with Rosa at the time. The bus driver called the police. This is stupid, I know. Rosa was arrested and taken to prison. She was released later that night and ordered to pay a fine. Screw this from happening. This is one true police officer. I don't know. Excuse my language. Next page. Anyways, news of Rosa's arrest spread throughout Montgomery. Community came out to support her. They were tired of the unfair laws as well. They decided to stay a bus boycott till the law was changed. No black people in Montgomery, Alabama. That is just not right for people to do that anyway. When riding the public bus. Screw you! Thank you. Anyways, the bus boycott began December 5th, 1955. Instead of riding the bus to Morgan School, about 40,000 people walked. Rolling cabs drives by black people, or carpool. Stupid idea. As the boycott went on, the bus companies started losing a lot of money. Yeah, you were screwed big time, people. Next page. Anyways, probably on November 13th, 1956, Supreme Court ruled that the suggestion buses were conventionals. Sorry. That means the law was against the Serenity condition has been changed. The Montgomery bus boycott ended the following month. It lasted for 381 days, longer than a year. Good enough. The boycott was one of the biggest, most influential fights against insurrection in the United States history. Good idea. Well, bad idea on this part, you know. I don't know. For a while in the bus boycott, Rosa Parks began to be known as the mother of the civil rights movement. Good enough. In 1957, Rosa left Montgomery and moved to Detroit, Michigan, where she continued fighting for equal rights. She attended marches to give speeches about discrimination. Good idea. That makes more sense anyway. We have three more pages left. Anyway, Rosa Parks received the Presidential Medal of Freedom and Congressional Gold Medal for President Bill Clinton. Time magazine named her one of the most influential people of the 20th century. Good enough. The Rosa Parks Museum opened in 2000 in Montgomery, Alabama. In 2013, when I graduated with high school, Rosa became the first black person honored with the full-size statue, Capitol Building in Washington, D.C., which, that's my first time being in D.C., so there you go. It can happen anyway. She died in 2005, but, last page of the book says this. Anyway, Rosa Parks died on October 24th, 2005. She was laid in honor of the Capitol. This is where private citizens cast it and displays so people can visit them before they are buried. She was the first woman and second black person to receive the honor. More than 40,000 people come say goodbye. Rosa Parks proved that a small demand for freedom can inspire others and change the world. I would like to be remembered as the person who wanted to be free, so other people will be also free. And that is the way it should be. So there you go on that. So that was a little golden book biography about Rosa Parks. Hold on, let me see. What was this? Good. That's all it is. Anyway, what do you think about this book? It was amazing. So this book was a success. That was Bedtime Stories, episode number 762. Hope you enjoy it. So there's going to be another Bedtime Stories, episode number 763, anyway. Which is about a little good book biography about Cher. Now my excuse me, I'm going to finish it all cassette tape. And the next side will be 45 minutes long. And some projects. And post them on social media. And I get ready for bed. Because after this is over, I really need to get ready for bowling. In between digital lessons and stuff. And get ready for the party for Stacy. If you're watching now, Stacy, for you. And of course, get some tickets. Lottery tickets like that. And of course, be prepared for some other things. Till next time, suggest my baby, moving out. See ya.